So for this video, we're just going to run through the process of actually searching for a load. And I'm just going to show you how I search for multiple drivers at the same time. So here on the spreadsheet, I have the drivers information listed here, the carrier's MC number, truck and trailer number, and then their location, and then when they're going to be empty. So I put carrier 1, carrier 2, carrier 3, just for privacy purposes. I don't want to actually list out the MC numbers, but I have it pulled up on my other screen, which you can't see. So this is how I kind of set up that initial process when I'm about to start searching for loads. So once I know their current location and I just have all this in front of me, I just navigate to the load board and I set my search criteria. So you just click on new load search, and then you would input all the information like the origin and destinations, the times and everything. So I've already done that. As you can see here, I have my first driver. He's going to be delivering in Kentucky, and he'll be available tomorrow to pick up a load, going to Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Tennessee. And what I want to mention about this driver, he doesn't like the deadhead too much, so I put 100 miles max for him, and his weight limit is 43,000. Also, he has a dry van. So the next driver is a flatbed. He's got a 48-foot flatbed, and he's going to be, well, he's empty now in Hurricane, Utah. So the available date I put as today's date. And for him, I had to increase the deadhead to 250 miles. And the reason for this is because he's in a pretty bad location. So the deadhead has to be a little bit high for us to kind of find loads. There's really not going to be that many loads in the location he's currently in. And the reason we have to take him here is because he has a family that he had to visit. So we really had no option. But in most cases, we don't like to take our drivers to areas like this. Like Utah is, pretty dead area. Unless you're like in Salt Lake City, there's some loads coming out of that area. But Hurricane, Utah, that's like a south region of Utah. So next I have my dry van, and he's in Abilene, Texas, and he can only go to Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. Oh, I forgot to mention, for the flatbed, he can go anywhere. So his destination is empty. So it's going to just show me all the loads going to really anywhere. And for the Texas driver, he can only go to Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. He'll be available tomorrow on the 14th. For him, I put 150 deadhead. And he's also in a pretty bad area, so it's going to be a little bit tough. So I had to increase that deadhead. He doesn't have any weight limits or anything like that. So let's go ahead. I'll click onto that Kentucky one. I'll have all the loads here pulled up. And as you can see here, I have 18 exact matches. So we'll just run through them and see what we have here. But first, I also want to show you the Utah one. And as you can see here, we have only 10 results for Utah, and the deadheads are like extremely high. Like this one is over 200 miles, this one's over 130 miles, etc. And then the delivery locations is like California, and our driver doesn't go to California, so we can't really call on this one. And New Mexico is pretty bad reload area as well, so we'll try to avoid this one. This one goes to Salt Lake City, Utah, so this is a potential load that we can call on. And I have a load to California. As I mentioned, we don't go to California. Colorado, this potential load here that we can do. And then we have an Oregon load. Unfortunately, driver doesn't like to go to Oregon either. So these are just a few options. Let me go ahead and call on this Vegas to Colorado. Let me click and see what where this actually delivers in. So our driver, he actually lives in Colorado, so that he might be okay with this load. So let me call and see what they have going on here. So I have my phone here in front of me. I'll put it on speaker. Hey man, I'm calling about your Las Vegas to Gunnison, Colorado load.
Yes, what kind of trailer do you have?
48-foot flatbed.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. It's just a load of drywall. 24-hour shipper in Vegas. It does require tarps. Um, they will load you at the scale at the shipper, so probably around 47, 48,000 on the weight. And then you can deliver either tomorrow or the next day. The receiver is open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we have 1550 on that one.
8 to 4 p.m.
Yeah, for delivery. Yes, sir.
And how much do you have on this one?
1550.
Okay, and is that y'all's max rate?
My max is 16. 16 is my best.
Okay, that seems a little bit too low because Colorado is pretty, it's a dead zone, and it looks like it's delivering in the middle of nowhere. Also, it's going to be a heavy load with tarps. Is there any way you can pay a bit more?
Man, I wish I could, but 1600 really is my best on it.
Okay. I'll have to call the driver and see if this is something he's interested in. But
Yeah, I understand.
I can't really lock it in right now. But I'll call you back, man. I'll let you know if it's something.
I know it's tough, man. I understand if he's got to pass on it. It kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
I got you, man.
Good luck to you, man.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.
So this load definitely is not something my driver is going to be willing to do, because this one requires for him to tarp the load, and then he's got a deadhead 136 to pick it up, and it's a pretty heavy load. So running for $2.09 is pretty bad. So definitely not worth it. So let's see what else we have here. Just gonna go ahead and just refresh the page. Looks like we have a Utah to Washington load. Maybe this is something he would do. Let me call and see what the load looks like.
Thank you for calling Grizzly Logistics. Unable to answer your call right now, please leave your name.
Looks like they're not picking up. And I've seen this load posted earlier and they weren't picking up earlier either. It's a pretty old load. I'm assuming DAT is just refreshing it. You know, it's showing that it was just posted. It's probably automated. Let me go check the other drivers, see what we have for them. So here, I don't see anything good. Like these two loads, they were posted a while ago. And typically if a load is still on the board and it's been posted like over 30 minutes ago, then most likely the load has been covered, or it's a false post, meaning there's some errors to this load, so that's why it hasn't been taken down yet. So I see here this one is 145 miles to pick up. Definitely not worth it. This one is paying 300. Definitely not worth it. So I don't see nothing for this driver. So let me check the Kentucky driver. So it looks like we have a few options for him. He prefers going to Georgia, but he's open to going to North Carolina and South Carolina as well. I see this one is going to Tennessee. So this area of Tennessee is actually not that good for reloads. So we're going to avoid this one. So let's see what else we have here. This one is posted for 1600, so that's probably, there might be something wrong with this one, because it's pretty high. So I'm assuming it's either multiple pickups. It says here 2 pickups, 1 drop. So probably something's off about this load, because it's been posted 19 minutes ago. Let me see. So we have a Charlotte load for 1100. So this one delivers the same day. So this is a straight through one. So I'm going to go ahead and email them. I'll copy the email address because they don't have a phone number here listed. So when I email the brokers about a potential load, what I like to do is I like to copy the deadhead, origin, trip, and destination. So I'll just select it, copy it, paste it on the subject line, and I'll just say details, please. And I'll just send them an email. So that's how I would ask about this load. So this makes it easier because if I'm like dispatching multiple drivers and I'm sending multiple emails to different brokers, I can kind of just see, you know, what the deadhead is, where it picks, and then the total miles, and then where it drops. So, you know, once a broker responds, I can just quickly grab the details here, put it on the spreadsheet, and now I have my load that I can present to my driver. So I'll just send him an email and wait for his response. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue searching for a different load. So this one is paying decent. Only problem is it picks up at 6 p.m. and it drops the next day, like later in the night. So we're losing pretty much a whole day. So this one is not worth it. So this one also same load. This one, Cornelia, Georgia. This one I know for sure is gonna have tough reload area. See, it's like delivering in the middle of nowhere. But here I see that one of the broker that we just emailed had responded. So I'm gonna go see what he's got going on. So it looks like his load here. I'll pull it up on the screen so you can see it as well. So it looks like his load is going to Charlotte, as I mentioned earlier. He's paying $1,100, and it's picking up 10 a.m. tomorrow. Drops straight through 2,200. So let me go ahead and quickly check what this load looks like. So it picks up in Danville, Kentucky. Drops in Charlotte, North Carolina. Loaded miles 381. Empty miles 50. It picks up on the 14th. So I'll do 12:14 at 10 a.m. Drops 12:14, 2,200. Same day. It's weighing 16,940. Dry foods. He's paying 1,100. So this is a pretty decent load. It's paying over $2.55. So this is pretty good, and I'm sure he'd be willing to go up on the rate. And the fact that it's a same day run, I think it's good because the driver will be empty the same day and he can pick up fresh the next day. So let me see if we have. Let me pull up the driver's group chat and see if that's something he'd want to do. Let me email him back and say, can you pay more? Yeah, 1,400. So I just told him I'm looking to be at 1,400, and I'm just going to see what he's going to counter with. In the meantime, I'll copy and paste this to the group chat and see what our driver says. Looks like he responded. So he countered with 1150. So I can go ahead. Let me update that here, see what the rate per mile looks like. So $2.67. So personally, I think this is a decent load, but I can't say for sure until my driver approves of it. So I went ahead, I messaged him on the Telegram group chat, and I'll just wait for his response. So I got a response from my driver, and he said he'll run it for $11.50. And while the driver was responding to me, I just sent a quick email to him. I said, can you do it for $1,200? So I just typed $1,200 question mark, and he just said, I can meet you at $1,200. So it worked out perfectly. My next response to him was, book it, and I gave him the MC number. And since we were already set up with this broker, he didn't require me to fill out no carrier packet, and he just sent the Raycon. So I'll scroll down and show you the next thing that he said. So once I told him to book it and I gave him the MC number, he asked me, when and where will your driver be empty? And then I just said empty tomorrow morning, and then I gave the state and the city where he'll be empty. And then I also responded back again. I said the driver will be empty at 2 a.m. tonight, so he can pick it up first thing whenever the shipper is open. And then he just responded back saying, please send me your driver's information and no fall offs. So basically he's saying, go ahead and send me your driver's information, and please make sure he doesn't cancel this load. So I sent him the driver's information, and I'm going to hide it here. I don't want to show the driver's information. And then after I sent him that information, he put the rate con together, and then he emailed me the rate confirmation. So I'll show you what that looks like. So here's that rate confirmation. And as you can see here, it's from Danville, Kentucky to Charlotte, North Carolina. And here's the drop time, and this is the pickup time. And basically everything is aligned to what he had mentioned in the email. So I have the weight, and then it's dry foods. So I signed the rate confirmation, and then I emailed the driver the rate confirmation, and I texted him that the load is booked, and now he has the address, so he's ready to go for tomorrow. Now if I go back on the load board, you'll see that I have 2 more drivers that I need to cover, and the process is going to be the same. I'm just going to call the brokers and see which load is going to work best for me. This load was perfect. It was 50 miles away from where the driver was dropping off his previous load, and it was paying well above $2.50 per mile, which is perfect for this driver. And he's going to be delivering it the same day, so he'll be empty the same day that he picks up the load. So he'll pick it up at 10 a.m., drop it off later at night, and it's paying $1,200. So it's a perfect load for him. He loves it, and we're good to go on this one. So yeah, that's just a quick video. I just wanted to show you what that typical process looks like for when you have to handle like that booking process for multiple drivers. You just set the search criteria on the load board, and you're just running through the loads and seeing what is going to be best for your drivers. So let's go ahead and jump to the next lesson.